The culture of the United Kingdom is rooted in the country's long history. British culture is compiled yet straightforward, confusing yet interesting. For instance, the favorite national dish is an Indian curry, and the driving is always on the left side of the road. UK culture is heavily influenced by elements of its countries like for example England, Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland. As one of the world's superpowers and one of the oldest sovereign nations, the UK has had a significant influence on the culture practices and traditions of many countries across the globe, including the US. Brunei is one of the three countries located on the island of Borneo in the central area of the maritime Southeast Asia. Here, it has a total area of 2,226 square meters and a population size of only around 470,200. Because of its close proximity to Malaysia, the culture of Brunei shares a number of similarities with its neighbor. In fact, over 66% of the population this country are ethnically Malay. A number of other large minority groups, like individuals from India and China, have also contributed to the current culture of Brunei. Throughout its long history, this country has experienced several religious periods, including animism, Hinduism, and Islam, that have culminated in the state of Brunei today. The culture of Brunei is made out of several important aspects, including social belief and customs, religions and festivals, music and dance, literature and arts, and cuisine.
British cuisine has a particular set of cooking traditions that are associated with the constituent countries of the UK. A few centuries ago, this cuisine comprised mostly of the dishes crafted from local ingredients and served with simple sauces to enhance the flavor. The growth and expansion of the British Empire in India brought the Indian food traditions of strong spices and herbs. Curry is now a national favorite, having been brought in the country by Indian migrants. Although the cooking traditions and styles have primarily remained the same over the years, the food and the drink in the UK has changed as a result of the growth of commercial eateries. People have less time to cook as they spend more time at work. Bruneian cuisine concerns the cuisine of Brunei. It is similar to and heavily influenced by the cuisine of the neighboring Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, with additional influences from India, China, Thailand, and Japan. And is common in the region, fish and rice are staple foods, though beef is expensive and thus less common. Due to the predominance of the Islamic region, the food is halal and pork is avoided. Alcohol is banned in Brunei. In rural areas, game animals such as wild birds, samar deer, and barking deer are hunted. Beef rendang, nasi lemak are popular foods in Brunei. Among the few dishes peculiar to Brunei is ambuyat, a sticky ball of flavorless sago starch which is wrapped around a bamboo fork and dipped into a sour gravy. Nasi katok, which literally means knocked rice, is a popular meal which consists of plain rice, fried chicken, and sambal, a spicy relish made from ground chili peppers and a variety of secondary ingredients, including but not limited to shrimp paste, garlic, ginger, shallot, scallion, palm sugar, lime juice, vinegar, and even grated cheese. Nasi katok is traditionally served wrapped in brown paper.
The appreciation of art in Britain is evidenced by its many art galleries and the legendary works of famous artists like John Constable and William Booth. Art has remained part of British culture, emphasizes of works in different artistic movements. There are literally pieces written in Celtic language and Old English. Over the centuries, Britain has produced their own writers, including William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, especially Romeo and Juliet, has been read and millions of people across the globe, and as of 2017, it has been translated into at least 100 languages. J.K. Rowling is one of the UK's most prolific writers of the 21st century, with her Harry Potter series sold over 1 billion copies, ranking as the best-selling book series of all time. The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, both written by J.R.R. Tolkien, are also UK literary works that rank among the 10 best-selling books in the world. They have been even adapted into award-winning films. Brunei Art and Literature. The art in Brunei span across all mediums: paintings, sculptures, architecture, photography. A lot of their arts are a mixture of the old and the new. Some of the most popular items that are sold are silver items, bronze work, and hand-wooden baskets. And Banda Saribigawan called Tamo that sells a lot of art and other locally made items. Women are exclusively the ones who do the bedwork. It's actually very complex art, utilized in clothing, hats, baskets, and their unique baby carrier they have called Abba. Beads were even used as a means of purchase things, and it's thought that certain kinds of beads have special powers and use as an amulet. Much of the earliest Bruneian arts goes back to the Kenya and Kayan civilization who occupied much of the Borneo. The Kenya and Kayan peoples populated the islands of Borneo, and the animals were the important part of their art. Art is shared among both sexes. Men traditionally work with wood and metal, while women are pretty much the only ones who work in wood, work and textiles. Their spiritual world shows up in a lot of their arts and architecture. Many times they decorate their homes, clothing, objects they use with protective spiritual image as a means of using their protective powers they exude. Men make this certain masks with really scary faces and ferocious expression to protect their rice fields. That though to be used as a way to ward off evil spirits that damage crops. They also develop a soul-catching mask, which they believe that when you sleep or unconscious, your soul can escape from your body, causing you to get sick. If they believe this is happening, they send a shaman to catch it. Most literature in Brunei is either written in Malay or in English. The most popular form of literature is poetry, style called sajak. No, not a pat sajak, but close. Sajak means rhyme in English that was full of nationalistic symbolism, once used as a means of propaganda during the days when the Japanese occupied the island during World War II. There aren't a lot of Bruneian writers that are well known outside the region, but the most famous work that came out of Brunei is the epic poem called Shereng Awang Siwang, about the famous hero to their culture. However, there are few books mentioned with use Brunei as its setting. One is a book called Armageddon by Don Brown. Another is an Anthony Burgers novel called Devil of a State.
The United Kingdom was created as an Anglican Christian country, and Anglican churches remain the largest faith group in each country of the UK except Scotland, where Anglicanism is a small minority. Following this is the Roman Catholicism, and religions including Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism, Judaism, and Buddhism. Today, British Jews number around 300,000. The UK has the fifth largest Jewish community worldwide. William Tyndale's 1520s translation of the Bible was the first to be printed in English and was a model for subsequent English translations, notably the King James Version in 1611. The Book of Common Prayer of 1549 was the prayer book to include the complete forms of service for daily and Sunday worship in English, and the marriage of and burial rites have found their way into those of other denominations into the English language. When it comes to traditional communication and greeting cards, a familiar sight throughout the UK, the red telephone box and Royal Mail red post box are considered British cultural icons. This is designed by Sir Gilles Gilbert in 1924. The red telephone box features a prominent crown representing the British government. The post pillar box was introduced in the 1850s during the reign of Queen Victoria, following Sir Rowland Hill's postal reforms in the 1830s, where the reduction in postal rates with the invention of the postage stamp made sending post an affordable means of personal communication. The red telephone box has appeared in British pop culture such as in Adele's video Hello, the front cover of One Direction's album Take Me Home, and the back cover of David Bowie's album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Sending Valentine's Day cards became hugely popular in Britain in the late 18th century, a practice which has since spread to other nations. The day first became associated with the romantic love within the circle of Geoffrey Chaucer in the 14th century, when the tradition of courtly love flourished. In Chaucer's Parliament of Fowls, he wrote, "For this was on Saint Valentine's Day, when every breath comes commenced, there's chase in Smith." The modern cliché Valentine's Day poem can be found in 1784 English nursery rhyme Roses Are Red. While Standard Malay is the official language of Brunei, languages such as Brunei Malay and English are more commonly spoken. Islam is the official religion of Brunei, and Brunei has implemented Sharia law since 2014. Islam is the official religion of Brunei. Muslims make up over 78% of the population. The Constitution of Brunei states that religion of Brunei Darussalam shall be the Muslim religion according to Shafi, sect of that religion, although it is also guarantees religion's freedom, albeit with the restrictions. The ruling monarch is depicted as the defender of Islam in the country under a system known as Malay Islamic Monarchy, while the state's Ministry of Religious Affairs officially promotes Islam in Brunei. In 2014, Brunei controversially adopted Sharia law, becoming the first East Asian country to do so. This law applies to non-Muslims in the country and has been criticized by international organizations such as the United Nations and Amnesty International. Prior to the introduction of Sharia law, Brunei has already adopted religiously motivated laws such as the prohibition of the sales of alcohol in the country. Christians and Buddhists make up the largest proportion of non-Muslims in Brunei. There are several Christian churches, Chinese Buddhist or Taoist temples, and Hindu temples, but these non-Muslim places of worship are not allowed to display visible signs. These religions are not permitted to proselytize or to try and convert others into their faith. A non-Muslim woman marrying a Muslim is required by law to convert into Islam.
Brunei is a country with a small wealthy economy that is mixture of foreign and domestic entrepreneurship, government regulation, and welfare measures, and village tradition. It is almost totally supported by export of crude oil and natural gas, with revenues from a petroleum sector accounting for over half of GDP. Per capita GDP is high and substantial. Income from overseas investments supplements income from domestic production. The government provides for all medication service and subsidizes food and housing. The government has shown progress in the basic policy and diversifying the economy away from oil and gas. Brunei's leaders are concerned that the government has shown progress in its basically policy of diversifying the economy away from oil and gas. Brunei's leaders and concerned that steadily increased integration in the world economy will undermine internal social cohesion, although it has taken steps to become a more prominent player by serving as chairman for the 2000 APEC Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. Growth in 1999 was estimated at 2.5% due to higher oil prices in the second half.